purpose and hope and love. What do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for
We need them. Yeah, we need those strategies, don't we? Strategies for living. So are you ready? You ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You
Slow
sure?
on the draw today, but I'm ready.
Yeah. Hey, folks, welcome. Welcome into another edition of Strategies for Living.
I was gazing.
Yeah, I see that. I'm Dr. David McMillan. She is psychotherapist, LPC Lauren Leon McMillan. Lauren, what's a hobby?
That's actually why I was slow to delay. I was looking up the etymology of hobby.
Somehow I just knew that was going to happen.
Do you know where it comes from?
No, where does it come from?
It comes from hobby horse.
Hobby horse.
Yeah, like
Okay.
the child's
like the
toy.
child's toy. Yeah.
And so the word that we use now for hobby just comes from the idea of a child's toy. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is interesting.
Just something to pass the time.
And we're going to talk about hobbies today that rewire your brain. I would say brain/mind. We've talked about this before. I mean, yeah, your brain's important, but your mind's all over your body. Every cell of your body
And beyond.
and beyond is your mind. And we're going to talk about some hobbies that can rewire your mind or your brain. And, the reason I wanted to start with hobby, and we can go into this a little bit more, what does the word hobby imply? And I think you just touched on it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's happiness. It's you choose to do it. This is not something that you're forced to do.
Right.
This is something that you choose to do, and it's
to
something
enhance your life, right?
Yeah.
It's a play, something to bring joy and enhancement to your life.
And so intentionality is a part of it.
Big time.
And there are things that we're going to talk about today that, I would say are proven ways to begin to rewire your entire system, whether you want to call that your brain or your mind or a little
Your
bit of
being,
both. Your
yeah,
being
yeah.
and
Your life.
Hobbies that rewire your brain today on Strategies. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being here, and we appreciate our sponsors who make it possible. The Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing, Restore Healing, Fertitas Delicatessen, SRT Sales Training, Uprising Addiction Center, and Mira Direct Primary Care. Hobbies that rewire your brain today on Strategies for Living. Come back with us.
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift you up when skies seem drab. Mind and body, spirits free. Living life in harmony.
And welcome into Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, talking today about hobbies that rewire your brain. And, again, hobby that's an important word here because it's not a have to. It's a choose to or a want to. There's intentionality here. You know, let me ask one other question and put it out for discussion, Lauren.
Okay.
Why is this so important? I mean, hobbies we generally think of as, oh, well, take it or leave. Now, some of us are very, very hooked on our hobbies, right?
Yeah,
But
sure.
for others of us,
Yeah, I can think of varying people who have on the spectrum, from people that I know in my life who have absolutely really almost no hobbies,
yeah,
to those who go so far deep into their hobbies that they lose track of time and people and
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So yeah.
yeah. So the question on the board here is, why is brain growth and this idea of rewiring our mind or our brain, why is that so all fire important?
So two things come to mind for that. One is the idea that you're always practicing something. Okay. Now the idea is what you're practicing.
Yeah.
And, you know, no matter what you do, it can be considered a hobby of sort, because whatever it is that you do in your spare time, I could argue it becomes your hobby.
Okay.
And it becomes a habit. It becomes part of who you are in your being, and your level of intentionality can alter that and how it becomes you.
So that's something, so that's something that we really want to think about. I mean, you know, some people would say, okay, well, I engage in a little fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
You can put whatever you want to in there. That I'm not doing harm to anybody. I'm not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
So, but from your answer,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying, be careful, think about that.
Yeah, I mean, everything we do has an impact on who we are, and we're all interconnected.
Right.
So even if you don't think what you do impacts other people, you impact other people.
Yeah.
And so who you are and what you create through your doing, through your being, impacts the world.
Yeah.
If at least your world, which then impacts the world. The second thing I want to hit on here that strikes me is the idea that we know that, and this hits on the power of the hobby, is the idea that we know it takes 10,000, I don't know the exact number, but over 10,000 times of repeating something in order to make it a habit or to ingrain,
To really learn it.
into your memory.
Remember back in the day when we learned our multiplication tables?
Yes, unless there is a key unless here.
Okay.
Unless it is done in play. If it is done in play, it takes significantly less time repeating.
Okay, so that may be.
So that's the power
of especially the power of saying, "Hey, this is a hobby."
Right.
Because
introducing that idea of fun.
I can. Most of us have hobbies that we enjoy and that are fun and that we like and we look forward to, right?
Yeah.
And so again, there's that intentionality, because the very word hobby implies enjoyment and play, right?
Right.
So we're going to throw some things out today that you might perhaps think about. And some of these might be a bit surprising in terms of, well, I've never heard of that one before. and a lot of people are not going to have heard of this very first one.
Yeah.
Okay? Mirror gazing. What? Mirror gazing. So now this could be a challenge for some people.
I think it's a huge challenge for most people.
But what mirror gazing is you're obviously in front of a mirror and you look into your own eyes for 10 minutes. Let me say that again. Again. Look into your own eyes for 10 minutes. Now,
without distraction.
No distractions, no phone, no nothing.
Yeah.
what happens is we all have a self-image, okay? And mirror gazing, and, you might say 10 minutes, Lauren, David, that's an eternity. That's forever.
Yep.
And, it's going to feel like that at first.
Yeah.
And I would say
we could start with a minute and build.
I agree.
I think that would be a very decent practice.
How many times have we said if you want a meditation or centering prayer practice, don't try to dive in. You may get to 10, 20, 30 minutes, but start slow. Set the timer.
30 seconds.
Set the timer at 30 seconds or 1 minute or 2 minutes. And, accomplish those, get those small steps out of the way.
Oh.
I remember going, I was in a Catholic school, and so we'd go to lunch, and in the lunchroom, when you finished your meal and you had to go, rake it and put your plate back up to
clean up.
There was always a teacher there inspecting, that you did not throw in. Well, I got caught in the beets. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because you would throw away beets?
I would throw away beets.
Really?
So Mrs. Collins.
I'm surprised you like them now.
I love them.
Yeah.
But I blame Mrs. Collins for that, because Mrs. Collins said, "Come here just a second." And so she took my plate over to the table and she took my fork and she cut the beets up into little bitty pieces.
Okay.
And she said, "Now you sit here." And she said,
could you imagine if this happened today?
She said, "You sit here, and I want you to eat. You don't have to eat the whole thing.
Right, but try
But
it.
I just want you to try. I want you to taste the beets."
Yeah.
And so I did. I was, Mrs. Collins was the feared sixth grade teacher, and I was way below the sixth grade, and hoping maybe she would retire before I got there. She didn't, but she was a great teacher, and I loved that, that I had her. But I learned that to my chagrin and dismay, I liked beets. You know that today.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We both love them.
And I blame Mrs. Collins for that.
Thank goodness for Mrs. Collins.
Yeah.
So that connects to breaking things up into smaller pieces.
Yeah.
And being able to just try them and see if you like them, and you might like it that way. This mirror gazing thing, it makes me think. I mean, we talked the other day about the power of eye contact.
Yep.
And especially with someone you love.
Yep.
So,
and we were particularly talking about it during sex.
Yes.
Yeah.
But could you imagine this practice, not right away, but as you build the intensity of feeling that and self-esteem that this could build over time.
Yeah.
But you're all mostly going to start from a place of when you look in the mirror, all the thoughts come, right?
Yeah.
And so I think part of the practice, if or when you take it up, would be to simply allow a sort of mindfulness technique about it, right? So notice what thoughts come up when you look at yourself in the mirror from an objective, from a witnessing point of view.
Right.
Don't get too attached to the judgments, but simply notice them.
Yeah.
And
in fact, don't get attached to the judgment at all.
No.
And the way to do that is just notice and let them move on.
Right. Right.
What happens here with mirror gazing, Lauren, is we all have a self-image. And there's a difference between self-image and self-esteem, right?
Oh, sure, yes.
True self-esteem comes from the inside of us, and it's us, it's real. Self-image is what we want to project out.
Right.
And so that we have that. We have something we want to project out, and sometimes that hides self-esteem even from ourselves. And what mirror gazing does is the more you do it, the person underneath starts to emerge.
Yeah.
starts to come forward. If in no other way, realization, right? And this is so simple. Mirror gazing sounds too good to be true. And it also probably sounds hard to some people. 10
Yeah.
minutes is a long time.
Yeah, no, I would start. I mean, I'm thinking about how difficult it is for couples sometimes to look at each other for 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
Right. And so if you need to begin there with no judgment.
Yeah.
But I would encourage us all to, the next time we pass a mirror, just linger a little longer.
Yeah.
You know, you don't
Yeah.
have to
hang out there for a few
You don't
minutes.
have to, but just look.
But linger with intent,
Yeah.
not the intent we usually
Yeah.
use a mirror for, which is
judgment.
judgment and everything's in order. But intent.
As if you were seeing a person you loved.
Yeah.
A child.
Because you are.
Yeah.
Because you are. When you're mirror gazing and you're looking into the reflection of you, particularly into your eyes.
Yep.
I think it was Jesus who said the windows of the eyes are the windows of the soul.
Well, and to recognize that this body, this form that you're gazing at, it loves you so much that it's allowing and carrying you through this experience of life.
Exactly. We are talking today about hobbies that rewire our brain. Talking about it today here on Strategies for Living. And we've got more. We've got more to share, so stay right where you are. We'll be right back.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies for living radio.
Oh, yeah, we do need them. Need those strategies. Welcome back into Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren, Leon, McMillan, David McMillan. We're talking today about hobbies that rewire your brain. And it's very important that we use the term hobby because that implies choice. It implies intentionality. It implies fun. Okay, so here's another one probably a lot of people have not heard about, Lauren. Reverse journaling.
Okay.
All right, now you're real familiar with journaling.
Sure. of
You
all
journal every
types.
morning.
Yeah.
But reverse journaling is, and I'm chuckling here
Yeah.
because this is kind of this is really elegant.
All right.
All right, so reverse journaling, a lot of time, most of the time in journaling, we're writing about what comes up or what happened in the past. Reverse journaling is to write tomorrow's story as if it already happened, and write every detail, particularly every win. Now, why in the world would you do this?
Mental rehearsal.
Well,
Yeah.
your subconscious mind, which is the vast part of your mind, all of our minds. It's been theorized that 15% of our mind is conscious and 85% of our mind is unconscious. And the image often used for that is an iceberg,
Correct.
right? So the tip of the iceberg, what's sticking out of the water,
That's the conscious.
that's the conscious mind, and everything that's below, the thing that can really sink the ships,
right.
is the unconscious. So yeah, it can sink the ships, but it can also, be a very powerful tool if we understand it. And if you're reverse journaling, you're writing tomorrow's story as if it already happened with every detail, every win. What you're doing is subconscious rehearsal.
Right. And so what I'm thinking is, I know tons of athletes who have used maybe not the writing part,
But the visualization part. Sure.
part. And so I can only imagine the power that it would add to write it down.
Yeah.
And I would caution, I wouldn't want us to write it down and then get upset or out of sorts when the day doesn't go exactly as I wrote it down.
No.
Right?
No.
The idea is to get that feeling, to really capture the feeling and the process.
Why is that feeling so important when we're looking toward change, a change that we want to make?
Feeling is what propels us. It's magnetic.
Yeah.
I like to think of, and Stacy's Slayball Dr. Stacy Slayball from Restore. She's talked on here about how thoughts are electric.
Right.
And I like to think of the thoughts, yes, as electric. But I think the feelings are the magnetism.
They're magnetic. Yeah.
Yeah.
We draw that to us.
And one of the differences between those, if we think about the actual forces of electricity and magnetism, electricity needs to be carried through a wire, right?
Right.
But magnetism can go through walls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
you ever played with strong magnets?
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so my point in saying that is, yes, what you write and think is important, but I think the analogy of feelings as magnets really underscores the power that creating and cultivating the feeling that you want is for drawing that in. Because again, some the new age idea of the law of manifestation or attraction, right? At the core of that, and I think people mistake this, is the idea that the universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are.
Okay.
And part of who you are and the being, the totality, is the feeling that you put out.
Yep.
Right? And so, I love the idea of reverse journaling for cultivating this feeling, but we can also do this through imagination, right? Bringing our imagination into everyday activities can make them more exciting, which purposely cultivates joy, which then the universe is going to magnetize more of in your direction. Make sense?
It makes total sense. Do you like Sims games?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
a lot of us
those.
do. A lot of us do. So
Oh my gosh.
here, and some people would argue we're in a gigantic Sims game, and I don't know about that, but I think we can take the Sims idea, and this would be called imaginary world building.
Okay, so we're playing with that imagination.
We're playing with
what
imagery.
Are we doing?
So we're creating a place that exists only in your mind. It's yours. You don't have to share this with anybody. And get detailed. I mean, think about the Sims games. You name the streets, design the landmarks,
Draw the map. Yeah.
And
Invent traditions. Decide what the people are going to eat there.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Your imaginary world building. Imagination isn't magic.
No.
It's muscle.
Mm.
So when we use our imagination, look at the word, we're using imagery.
Yeah, we're imaging. Right? Yeah.
We're imaging.
Which is where everything begins.
We're creating a mental picture in our minds. Mm-hmm. And, it's been said that everything is created twice, that it's first created in the mind of the creator,
right?
And then it moves forward. I'm immediately thinking about Henry Ford. Mm-hmm. And back in Henry Ford's day, before he developed his brilliant, assembly line, cars were built step by step.
Yeah.
And so,
one at a time.
One at a time. They were built one at a time. And what Henry Ford imagined and then brought into existence, which changed the car business. Didn't do it overnight, but at one point it made the Ford Motor Company the most profitable, valuable company in its day. Imagine Amazon or, Elon Musk SpaceX and X and all the other stuff
Yeah.
he's got. Imagine that, but back in the day, that's what happened with Henry Ford. But he had to be able to do that.
Yeah.
He had to imagine that.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein said that his greatest discoveries came to him while he was daydreaming, while he was, and there's a scientific, there's a scientific undercurrent here. When we're daydreaming, when we're imaging, we're going out of the
ego,
the beta, brain state
Yeah.
that most of us spend the majority of time.
Right, because
and we're
theta-
going into theta or alpha or theta.
Theta is what brings up the imaging.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you want to create you want to create real powerful change in your life, purposefully go to alpha theta.
Right.
Get that alpha
and
theta
you're
state.
combining two elements in this quote unquote hobby, right? You're
Right.
combining that idea of entering the imaging state, the theta state, and cultivating feelings.
Yeah. So, if it makes sense to you what I'm saying, imagination is not magic, it's muscle, then understand that most people never train our imagination. What would happen if you totally ignore your muscles and and unfortunately,
What you don't use, you lose.
yeah.
Right.
And unfortunately, I think you can see this with some of our elderly, particularly people who are in nursing homes and get to a point where
Yeah.
they either give up or
They can't
they
use
can't
them. Yeah.
do it anymore. And you see how quickly we have a friend that very fit elderly gentleman, was very, very fit, even to the point of jogging every day for as long as I have known him. And we were having a conversation with him just recently, and he's telling us, I was shocked at how fast I lost my muscles. He hurt his back, and he stopped exercising. He stopped pushing himself. And I'm not wanting to scare anybody here, but
No, because it can be rehabbed.
yeah, but that gentleman, and he expressed to us how shocked he was, but that gentleman now can't walk without a cane or a walker and can't drive anymore because, there's got to be a certain amount of muscles that you're able to control and use in order to press the gas and the brake. And, we don't often realize how many freedoms we take for granted. And just the simple act of driving. And indeed, a lot of our elderly population, we see a change when they stop being able to get into their car and drive.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, well, and it's interesting because I could apply this also to when we decide as quote unquote adults that imagination is childish, right? I mean, think about how mundane and boring the life becomes. And what imagination really trains is creativity, yes, but also empathy, problem solving, and planning. Those are all fueled by the muscle of imagination.
There you go. Well, as if we haven't confused people enough, when we come back, feed auditing.
Okay.
Think about that one.
All right.
We're talking today about hobbies that rewire our brain.
Oh, yeah, these are some common hobbies. We all do.
Yeah, real common hobbies is what we're talking about today. But, I would argue they need to be developed and cultivated as hobbies. Hobbies are fun. They're intentional. We can't wait to do them. And that's what we're talking about today here on Strategies for Living. Be right back.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies Strategies for living radio.
Yeah, we need them. Strategies for living. Welcome back. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, talking today about habits that can rewire your brain. And that I've used another H word, habits. Actually, hobbies is what they are. And a hobby is something fun and intentional, something that you do and you look forward to doing. And I would argue that, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
And so, feed auditing. Have you guessed what this is yet?
Well, not exactly. No.
Okay. So, whoever you follow is thinking on your behalf.
Okay, so we're talking about like social media feed.
That could, yeah, I am. And beyond that. So, a lot of us don't notice that it's happening. You just wake up one day and you have opinions. And how many times, especially in this social media world, but it happens in other places too, Lauren. But how many times do we gain something from a group that we're in or from social media or whatever, and that becomes our opinion.
Yeah.
And then somebody says, well, why do you believe that? And we've never reasoned it out. We've never reasoned your way into or out of, why that's important. And so think about this. A lot of our nervous system is programmed by people you've never met.
Well,
people you don't know and will never meet. Strangers.
Sure. Yeah. Which is a wild thing, but it is happening now.
Yeah.
Right. And it's possible. Attention is our most valuable currency right now.
Yeah.
And I think in all the myriad of ways, it's being fractured to our, and it's dismantling our own power.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so really what you're talking about here, feed auditing, but I'm also thinking of it more of an energy audit as a whole,
all
right?
I won't argue with that.
Because I have purposefully, I guess I do engage in this hobby, the feed auditing part. I pay attention to, if I'm on social media, how does this land in my body? How does this make me feel? And
good way to do that is say, where in my body am I feeling this when I think of this?
And does it bring me energy? Does it make me feel energized, curious, connected? Or is it more bringing out anger or making me feel fearful or numb or less than, right? So is it
taking my energy?
Taking my energy, right? So the overarching is it giving me energy or taking my energy?
So,
right?
So you can imagine this. I mean, the easiest way to imagine it is, I guess, nowadays on Facebook, and we all have a feed, or Instagram, and we have a feed.
Or TikTok.
Or TikTok, and we have a
X
feed.
Or whatever else.
Think about your feed is not entertainment. It's like an operating system.
Yep, it becomes your subconscious.
It's an operating system that you are installing bit by bit. And how much of it comes from people you don't know and never will know, Yeah, we have friends, but how much of our feed is from friends? And we know those friends, but then they have friends and they see something and they save it, and then the next thing we know, it appears on our feed.
Right. Yeah.
So feed auditing is more of the intentionality. And again, the point that I think you're exactly right. Nowadays, we do a lot of it online.
Yep.
But
we could also do this with people, places, activities, right? Now, there are some things in life that we, to get to another point, we need to move through perhaps an energy draining activity or person. Sometimes that comes along the way, right? And at that point, we need to do some inner work. How can I put up some boundaries, or what story am I telling myself about this person that can change this interaction?
yeah,
But in the areas where we do have a choice or an option, it's about, does this bring me energy? Does this drain me energy? And is it worth it to me?
Yep.
Right? And then making the conscious decision to either move into it and alter your internal, like what the story you're telling yourself about it, so it doesn't have to be so draining, or putting a boundary down.
Yep.
and real life unfollowing or muting people, right?
I like it. And you can do that in your own mind without ever letting somebody
Sure.
know that you've muted them.
Yes.
The great example are the old Charlie Brown
Womp,
womp, womp,
womp,
womp.
womp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the adults talk, you never hear the adults. You only hear the kids.
I'll
Yeah.
never forget when I learned that ability.
It's life-changing.
It was.
Another hobby that we can develop is pattern hunting.
Okay.
All right. Now, you're big game hunting here. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
sounds like
all of them are important, all that we've talked about. But this one,
Mhm.
I'm not a hunter, but if you are a hunter, I think you dream of going after the big game, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I
don't
guess
know.
so. I mean, people like to go all kinds of exotic places on safari. Think about this as your safari, your mind safari, pattern hunting. So what you're doing is you are literally paying attention and trying to find in your life what keeps repeating.
Oh gosh, this is a big hobby of mine.
Yeah. So
I do this one.
this could be ideas. This could be conversations. This could be things that happen. This could be things I do. Again, back to the unconscious, back to the subconscious mind. Oftentimes, the subconscious mind is whispering to us through patterns before it delivers the message to us entirely. One way this actually most everybody could relate to is dreams.
Yeah.
What if you're dreaming something,
Ooh, that is
and that is
rich.
something rich for you to pay attention to. You do have to understand that dreams talk their own language, and you have to kind
And
of
there are some
embrace the imagery.
Well, and there are some general symbols that mean certain things across the board, but it also is very individualized.
Absolutely.
I mean, a snake to one person can mean something different to
Yeah,
another, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're extraordinary pattern recognition machines as it is.
And so this is the big game. This
Yeah.
is the safari. This is
It's to become
go pattern hunting.
Well, and become a student of yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And part of this hobby can become keeping a notebook of the patterns that you notice, just as observation. Like
Yep.
become your own scientist, right? Of
Oh, I
yourself.
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Become your own
Yeah,
scientist.
you'd be surprised at things that I found this way.
You put yourself under the microscope.
Yeah,
Huh?
just take data, collect data, and see where it leads.
Hobbies that rewire our brain, our mind. This is about having fun. It's about brain growth, mind growth. And a hobby is for fun. It's intentional. We're talking about that today here on Strategies for Living. Be right back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. I can't believe we're already done. I have more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe more that we actually have heard of before.
Yeah. What are you saying? Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan. Okay, just for that, you go to work.
Okay.
What's your takeaway from our rewiring our brain with some different kind of hobbies?
I think they're really cool. I mean, I hadn't actually heard of really a lot of these in the way that we terms them.
Yeah.
But I actually do several of them, and they or different forms.
You may not call them what we
Yeah,
called them
yeah.
today, but yeah.
But it's just the idea about who are you creating yourself to be,
Yeah.
right? Because what we do, and especially what we do in our spare time for fun, because remember that element of fun is what accelerates the development of connectivity within, particularly within our brain. It creates who we are in the world. So
Absolutely.
what all of these have in common is the idea of intentionality, of consciously cultivating who it is the values that we want to create in our life, right?
Absolutely. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank
Folks,
you.
don't forget, if you missed any of these, or you want to hear more, maybe you tuned in at some point, know that we're in podcast form, so go to wherever you get your podcast and put in Strategies for Living and subscribe. Never miss a show. Folks, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you being part of Strategies for Living, and we appreciate our sponsors who make it all possible. The Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing, Restore Healing, Fertitta's Delicatessen, SRT Sales Training, Uprising Addiction Center, and Mira Direct Primary Care. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make. That's it. Who would you call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillan, I'm David McMillan. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.